So today I wanted to talk about a common reason why so many people are suffering. Also give you some tools and tips that you can use to implement into your life so you can be more happy. In Buddhist context, we understand that greed, anger, and delusion is the root cause of suffering. However, it can be very broad, also it can be very deep, so people don't know how quite to apply it. So that is a truth. However, for me, I wanted to go a different angle and share something a bit specific from personal experience, from experience of dealing with so many people from different backgrounds. But one of the reasons I find that people are suffering so much is because they don't honor their nature. When we were born, when we come into this world, we have this innate pattern, innate characteristics that is embedded already in us. You know, for me, I'm just a very quiet person. I like to keep to myself. I like to learn deeper truths. I don't like small chit chat. So this is just kind of my nature, just always since a little boy, just been very timid, not enjoying being in big crowds, but always keeping to myself and also studying other people, studying things of that nature. However, with my background, just being born from an immigrant background, living in a refugee camp, and I haven't shared this with many people, but moving to America at the age of 5, one thing that is instilled in you as an immigrant and a person coming from a background that is very poor, and we did not have much materially and financially. One thing that is instilled in me at that time was just ethics, a hard working ethics. And I don't know much, but when you come from an immigrant background, you just have that skill. You just know how to work hard, and I can outwork anyone. Put me next to anyone and I can outwork you just because that's how I was raised. With my background and with the conditioning and with our current environment or our environment at that time and the situation of our family, really what I was taught was to pursue financial success. And it made sense because my family wanted us to have financial security. They want us to have a good education, and that's what they push. And to reach the American dream, it was really to have that educational background, make a lot of money, and then you can provide for yourself so you can have some security, get a big house, get a good paying job, have a nice relationship with children. And that was kind of the trajectory of my life. So I pursued that, and I was working as a real estate agent. I pursued professional dancing as a hip-hop dancer. I went into and tested ballet and modern and contemporary and jazz. And while I was pursuing that American dream, while I was making money and developing that financial success inside of me, something just did not feel right because I had deals in escrow at that time. I was closing deals. However, I couldn't get out of bed, and I couldn't push myself, and I couldn't find that motivation, and I didn't understand why. And for many years, I just kept pushing and pushing myself and having this internal conflict of why is it that I became successful, but yet every part of me was shutting down. And this occurred to me many times throughout my life where doing different careers, pursuing different relationships, doing different hobbies, and it's like I was good at them. However, why was it that something inside of me was still suffering and something inside of me was still a bit off, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was draining my energy. And until one day later on in my life, after experiencing different crises in my life, and it just made sense of why I was suffering so much at that time. It was because I'm good at the things that I do, however, it did not honor me. It did not honor how I was designed. It did not honor the way I was created and my true nature. And like I shared with you in the beginning, my true nature is an introvert. I'm a hermit. I like to keep to myself. I like to pursue spiritual truths. I don't like small chit chat, but I love learning about the world, human nature. I like learning about karma and Buddhism and all these deep truths. And can you see now, with my life at that time, knowing that my design is this very quiet person who likes to be in the background, but yet I was living this life of performing on stage. I was living this life of working as a real estate agent. You can be good, but again, it did not honor my nature, and my body was telling me and showing me symptoms that you're going the wrong way. And what I've discovered through my own experience was when you start to live a life that honors how you're designed, end of conversation, because then you feel more alive, then you feel more at peace. And look at how now, knowing how I was designed and how my nature is, I'm now here in Thailand as a Buddhist monk. I get time to cultivate myself, be alone. I get to develop my meditation. I get to teach, not about science and math and real estate, but really I love teaching about suffering. And I like teaching people how to get out of that suffering. That's it. And not because I want to be this, not because anything, but throughout my whole life, this has always been the fabric of who I am. And now I feel the most at peace because my lifestyle, the way I live, the way I speak, what I do, it exactly aligns with who I am. So this is what I wanted to offer for anyone out there who may be feeling off, who may be feeling unsure of what they're doing. Do you need to leave your job? No. No. Keep it because you have to pay your bills. Stay in your relationship. Maybe you need that security. I'm not asking anything of you, but just really wanted to share this concept. Because professionally, when I was working as a therapist, so many people came to see me, and this was the issue time and time again. I would work with engineers who come and they talk about how they're depressed and they're anxious and they don't feel any fulfillment in their life. And they live in Los Angeles. Some people actually drive 4 hours in traffic every single day to and from work. And they sit in their cubicle, they answer phone calls, and again, not to knock anyone who is doing this, but for this specific person, then when I explore with them, why are you suffering? Explain to me this suffering. And they would share with me that in their hearts of heart, who they are is they're an artist. And they want to play guitar. And they love to write music. And they've always done that, and they always perform their whole life since the age of 5. Their earliest memory, they know, I just love playing music. I love writing songs. I love creating. And then you see how you live your life now. And it's like, wow, you sit in a cubicle. You're working as an engineer. Yes, it does pay the bills, and you have to do that. It's okay. But I just want you to see that disconnect. And many people suffer because of this. So then for me, it's to how do you suffer less? And it's really to see yourself clearly. This is Buddhism, and this is what they teach. To know what is your nature. How were you designed? How were you built? And what is the fabric of you? And until I understood this concept, I was always suffering. I was always pushing and always feeling an uneasiness. So then how do you take the next step and start to assess your life clearly, to living more in alignment and also congruently? And for me, I would say the first one is you can even journal about this, but take the time to look at things that you were taught and conditioned to be. You know, in my family, with my kind of upbringing, My parents wanted me to be a medical doctor. I pursued 3 PhD programs, 2 in California, 1 in Thailand, because I wanted to please my parents, because I was conditioned to thinking that that was success. And every single time I did the program, I was struggling and I couldn't keep up. Or even when I was able to keep up, I didn't find this excitement and this joy. So I had this idea that to be successful, to be happy, I needed to be a doctor. I needed to be an attorney. I needed to have credentials behind my name because that's what my family wanted from me. That's what other people wanted me to do. And again, I can be good at it, but that's not who I am. And the second thing that you can take a look at is who you want to be. And these are the fantasies that you have of yourself. And Buddhism talks about this in craving. And craving is, again, like I shared, it was very exciting to have this fantasy that I can dance behind Janet Jackson, to the different major labels out there, and you create this world for yourself. And again, I continue to work hard, and the fantasy that I had about me didn't match with who I was. And even though many times I would pursue these fantasies, these dreams and these goals, even when I reached it, like when I was the real estate agent, I still had this uneasiness. I still had this suffering. Because again, we can trick ourselves. We can fall into this delusion. It can bear a lot of fruits and make you a lot of money, give you a lot of praise. But at the end of the day, yourself, you know that it does not align and it does not match with your true nature. And then the last part is then start to see yourself as you are. Study the fabric of you. Study the pattern that has always been there in your nature. Are you a person who likes teaching? Are you a person who likes to be by themselves? Are you a performer? Are you a person that loves education? Are you a public speaker, a networker? And again, get this clear. Not a fantasy because in your mind it feels great. Because nowadays everyone wants to be an influencer. Everyone wants to have their own Instagram and YouTube and all these big things because it feels great. It strokes the ego. And for me is you can want to be that, but sometimes you don't have the personality. Sometimes you don't have that because you were not created that way. That may sound harsh to some people because you can be anything you want to be, and I understand that concept. But what I'm saying is know who you actually are by your fabric, and then start to live by that. So I hope these tools are helpful for you, but start to see yourself clearly. And when you can take out the perception you have of yourself, perception of who you want to be, perception and pressures that you get from your peers and your friends and your family and culture and society. And just because you are good at something doesn't mean that it's your nature. And it may not fit. So again, very good at selling houses for me. But at the same time, it was not how I was designed. I was not designed to sell houses. I just had skills to sell houses. But I think people are the most happy when they truly know who they are. They don't compare themselves to other people, and they just keep training themselves every day and live a life that is in alignment. And again, I share this not to brag, not to look down at your life or to judge your life, but out of the many years of genuine suffering, of not knowing how to change my life around. What do I do? Why do I not feel joy? Why do I not feel this aliveness and excitement in my life? Why is it that I feel like a robot where I just go to work every day, drive to and from work, every day sit on the couch or watch TV, and you do the same patterns over and over, and you wonder why you're not happy? And this is one of the reasons why. Because you don't know yourself. You don't know your own nature. And you design your life on friends, on the career, on the relationship that you think will bring you happiness versus actually when you know who you are. You see yourself clearly. This is why in Buddhism we train the mind with precept, morality, discipline, and meditation is the most important because then you can start to see yourself, others, and your situation clearly, and you'll have that wisdom then to proceed. But my hope for anyone who is suffering out there to have the courage, be strategic. If you need to keep your old lifestyle, it's okay. But if you want to make a shift, include this part. Take some time to get quiet, take some time to get still, and then study and look at from a young age in your life. You can ask the people around you, your parents, your family, what has always been there, and a pattern will reveal itself. And now I'm at a place where the lifestyle that I'm living here in the monastery actually honors me and how I'm designed, and I just feel the most peaceful that I've ever been. So I hope these tips were helpful for you, and please feel free to share any of your comments below, and hope you are doing well, and sending blessings and greetings to everyone from Thailand, and hope you are safe during these difficult times. So, Satu.